So whenever you get a child, say a 1-year child coming to you with 2 to 3 episodes of wheeze so far you have seen, okay. If the child has had episodes in the very first year of life, it means there is a significant illness. A child who started wheezing, right, second month, third month, continuous wheezing is there. Definitely there is a significant illness with that child. And how was the onset? Every single time you should ask the parent, how was the onset in that child? So was it a sudden onset? The child was playing well, didn't have any fever, no URI, nothing. Suddenly the child has had a wheeze. He started breathing very fast, or he started having this breathing difficulty all of a sudden. So a sudden onset is going to tell you that probably it is foreign body ingestion or something like that. When there is an insidious onset of history, say the child had 2 days of cold, there was a mild fever, and then now the child has some breathing difficulty. So how was the onset is very, very important. Course of the child. So it is a recurrent wheezer. So how was the course? Every time the child goes in for a remission, the child remains symptom free, and then the child gets another spike. So is it like this? Is it a remitting episode or is it unremitting? The child is not responding to bronchodilators, not responding to any medicines. It is a continuous wheeze. So how was the onset? How was the course? Associated symptoms. Only wheeze, only fast breathing, only breathing difficulty. Was there a cough? Cough again when there is a wet cough. This age group, definitely we can hear parents telling that the cough is very loud, cough has a lot of secretions, but the child is not able to cough out anything, doctor. This is what they usually say. Sometime, okay, this is also counted as wet cough. Sometime you can actually get some expectoration also outside. So if the child is able to expectorate the sputum, count as wet cough, or if you can hear the typical history that the parents give, count it as a wet cough. Think of an underlying lung illness. The cough which is associated with the wheeze is going to be very dry, and it is not going to be expectorative at all, right? So what about the variations? So how is the cough? How is the wheeze? The child, usually the typical history of a wheezer will be the child is well during the day, doctor. Evening time the child starts coughing, and when the child goes to bed in the late hours of the night or in the very early hours of the morning, the child has this typical cough. He is coughing at night time, he is coughing at sleep, he has this breathing difficulty only during night time. My child is well during the day. This is the typical diurnal variation that you get the history from the parents of a wheezing child. And previous treatments. So if you can get the previous treatment details, every time when there is a wheeze, the child would have undergone a nebulization, and if they were responding to the bronchodilators, that is an ideal point. And if there was a physician diagnosed wheeze, in those cards you have to see if the previous pediatrician has written, yes, there was a wheeze and then this was a treatment given, because wheezing is actually an examination finding, but parents usually complain of wheeze. So wheeze is something found on examination, not a parental history. Okay, so that distinction should be there. If the parents say it is wheezing, do not write complaint of wheeze present. No, the wheeze is never a complaint. Wheeze is always an examination finding. I see many students writing as complaint of wheeze. You have history of rapid breathing, you have a history of noisy breathing, you have history of breathing difficulty in such children. This is what you are going to write as complaints, not history of wheeze. Do not make that blunder in your exams, okay? And what about the preceding history? How was the child before the wheeze started? So this is some history that you will commonly ask. What about systemic illnesses? Of course, with age, say a bronchiolitis child could have some vomiting. And next is about arching away from the breast. This arching away from the breast, spit ups and coughing while feeding, all this will point towards a GER, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Recurrent otitis medium along with the wheeze can divert to you or can give clues towards primary ciliary dyskinesias. History of choking, previous history of choking present or not. How is the child developmentally? Is there any neuromuscular history? Why is all this important? Any restrictive lung pathology or any obstructive lung pathology, most of it you will be able to identify from the history. Family history is also very, very important, and family history of allergic rhinitis, asthma, skin allergy, food allergy, etc. Child per se. Is the child atopic? Did the child have any eczema postnatally, or now the child does have any eczema, any allergic rhinitis or sinusitis symptoms present, any food allergies, any sensitization to dust mite, etc. All these history should be asked. So,